Welcome to the world of Level Up Weekly, a bounteous, open podcast filled with amazing loot, legitimately challenging enemies, but not too difficult to defeat, and of course, the EXP. Join our fellow big headphone adventurers Dylan the Dude and Spernaday as they journey on a quest to find the EXP from gaming news and discussion. Hello everybody, welcome to Level Up Weekly, your weekly XP for gaming news, and welcome back to another episode here on your next level experience. I am Spernaday, and alongside with me is my co-host Dylan the Dude. What's going on, Dylan?
Cannot complain. Another great week here in the world of tech and video games, and can't wait to get to talking what we're going to talk about. It's
a blessing today. And because obviously we're alive and we get to enjoy the world and, all the other stuff that we talk about. But, it's just nice to be alive. To know that Dr. Disrespect has turned back into Twitch. And the two-time is now apparently a part of a record-breaking work. But we'll talk about him shortly. And we also have some news with Overwatch League. We have some news with how my weekend went, because we can talk about that and how that tournament for Rocket League went, and some more fun stuff we have coming up here. But first, before we get into that, we're going to take a moment to just say hello and let you guys know what we've been up to. Dylan, let's just start with you, man. What have you been up to with in terms of gameplay? Have you played any new fun games, anything crazy in your world yet?
Well, really what I've been kind of working with video game-wise is just a lot of the old classics, some PUBG, some Division, mostly Overwatch, of course, as the competitive season's kind of winding down, and with the Overwatch League still in full swing, has definitely given me a lot more kind of working towards that. Also, starting to play a little bit Persona 5, of course. Couldn't do it on stream due to some issues with the space I had to work with on stream Saturdays, which you can catch here on Level Up Weekly on Twitch. That's twitch.tv/Level Up Weekly, of course. And next Saturday will be, of course, Spernaday playing some more Mega Man. You think you'll be doing?
I think I'm going to probably go back to Mega Man. I'm debating because I also want to also play some Overwatch. I have some considerations. If you guys have some special ideas, you can let me know, of course, in chat or on Twitter. But I think we're going to go and play some Mega Man. It's going to be exciting for sure. But yeah, other than that, anything else that's really kind of covered on your side, Dylan?
No, that's really been about it. I guess the only thing I've really learned is that whenever I say, all right, I'm going to play some Overwatch and, go to Diamond, I lose 300 SR. When I tell myself, all right, well, it's time to go D-rank, I gain 300 SR, so I guess I can't be overconfident in my abilities. I have to assume I suck so I can get to Diamond.
My win rate is like a 50-50, so like usually I'll have like 7 games under my belt, and yet I'll still walk out with almost the same exact SR as I did before. I'm like, man, this entire hour just didn't seem worth it to me. Oh well, it happens. It's life. It's competitive.
Well, now that I've raised up into like the middle of platinum, I'm starting to get more of these kind of just unlucky diamond and master level players. So now I'm finally out of the funk where me as a tank / support main keeps on getting stuck with like crap DPS that can't actually do anything. Now I'm getting stuck with DPS that can do things. And as such, I'm actually winning games. So, it's a great time for me because I actually like winning at Overwatch. I like, doing well and getting higher SR. I love to succeed in Overwatch. I wish the Shanghai Dragons had that same philosophy.
I wish so too. We have some fun stuff about them later. But, well, for me personally, man, I hit a stint lately. The last 2 days, I've just been on this issue where I don't know what game to play. Out of all things, and you'd be surprised to hear this from me, Dylan, I got back into playing PUBG yesterday. I think it's because the dock came back, to be
Yeah.
honest. Because as I was playing it, I'm like, the game seems okay. I turned it on to see if the game was like any more optimized than it was before, and I guess it was because my frame rate seems it's a lot cleaner than it was before. So thank goodness for that. But other than that, goodness, I opened and played TF2 for the first time. That was interesting.
Wow.
I haven't played TF2 in maybe 2 years, about 2 years. And goodness, I didn't play Fortnite though. I don't think I'm going to probably get into Fortnite. The more that I tell myself, because I have the game installed, the more that I tell myself I should get into it, I'm like, it's just not me. Like battle royale games are cool, but it's not my style. I guess I'll put it like that. But it is what it is, Division, Wildlands, goodness, Overwatch. I played, of course. I snuck in a game of Uno the other day. Like, I've like hit my like at least a third of my games I have on Steam now, just because I'm bored. I think I just need a new title. I think that's what it is. I think I'm just at this stage where I've played like the same games for so long that I just like want a new game to just let the other games not get burned.
I can understand that. I would definitely recommend just going through Steam sales and just seeing what you can pick up, or even if you are really inclined, just find a good classic emulator and just give something like that a try.
I was really fortunate that I did my backup on my old Windows 10 machine, that I found that emulator, because oh man, that made me so happy. Because like guys, I'm gonna open up one of my emulators real quick just to tell you why I'm glad that I found that folder. Here, hold on 1 second. I gotta find it. There it is.
And of course, while he's doing this, I might as well give these a little bit of a few plugs. Of course, you can find us on Patreon at www.patreon.com/levelupweekly. We'd love to have you there. You can find us on Podbean, iTunes, really anywhere where you can find podcasts like that, except for SoundCloud, of course, because we don't have that kind of crazy money. But yes, Podbean and iTunes, search Level Up Weekly and you'll find us there. You can also listen to us on 106.7 WRHC-LP and 93.5 WRHZ out of the Three Oaks, Sawyer, and Stevensville area.
Okay, found them. The reason that I really want to keep this is because here's my Z-SNES emulator. I have Kirby Super Deluxe, Mario is Missing, Mario Paint, Mega Man X, Street Fighter 2, and Fighter 2 Turbo Edition, Super Mario Kart, Mario RPG, Super Mario World, Super Punch Out, The Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past, Yoshi's Island. I don't remember what game specifically Yoshi's Island that was. Donkey Kong Country, and Diddy's Conquest. So that's just simply my Super Nintendo emulator. My Project 64, Conker's Bad Fur Day, Donkey Kong 64. Man, why am I saying that I'm bored?
Yeah, you have a lot of these.
All I had to do was just reread that I had all these games, and I guess that was it, my solution. Okay, cool. Well, good job, me. Anyway, Doom 64, GoldenEye 007, The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask, Mario Kart 64, Mario Kart 2, or Mario Party 2, sorry, Monopoly, Perfect Dark, Pokemon Stadium, Pokemon Stadium 2, Quest 64, Super Mario 64, Super Smash Brothers, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six, and The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. Man.
So yeah, you have no games there, man. You really got no games.
I don't have anything. Just nothing at all. I'm just too bored. And my Game Boy, I just have all the Mega Man Battle Network series so I can play those on stream. That's literally why I have them. But who cares? I'm excited because having those on hand is always a nice little plus to, just have some time to just goof around and have fun with that.
Well, and there's one more game that you have been putting a little bit of time into, if not playing, actually watching and broadcasting. If you'd like to segue into what your weekend was like last weekend.
Yeah, that's a good point. Good transition. Dang, Dylan, you're doing better than me. I'm jealous. So
What?
Remind me to ban you later. Okay. So
Nightbot's already on it.
seems legit to me. Okay, so this last weekend, if you didn't hear before, I got a chance to be part of a production company called Mad City, and we ran a 2-on-2 Rocket League tournament. It was a Swiss pool bracket transitioning to set our seating, and then once that was set, we moved to single elimination, and the grand prize was $1,000 in prize pool. So first, second, and third received cash out for it, and it was a great pleasure as always. I worked alongside with 3 other people in terms of the casting talent. We got the chance to interview people, to commentate over our games, and just to generally get to talk to everyone, have a good time. I'm sure Dylan can vouch for me on this one, that I was up till, let's see, this would have been Thursday. Thursday night, I was writing scripts till about 3 in the morning, I think. I'm trying to remember if it was
Around there,
whatever it was. And then on, let's see, it was then Friday night, the day before the tournament, I was up till 3 a.m. finishing the rest of the stuff that I had before, which in a nutshell is like your notes about players, their stats from previous tournaments, how they did in previous tournaments that you've hosted, and just this whole construction of things together. It was a lot of work, but at the end of the day, it was well worth it, of course, because you end up getting a little bit of cash in your pocket. But at the same time, though, to help see a community grow is always a pleasure and is always thoroughly fun to do, as always. And Dylan, you got a chance to watch some of it, didn't you?
Absolutely did. And the production quality of the event was fantastic. I loved everything I saw about production-wise. The action was great. It was just a fantastic little event. At one point, I thought someone's mic was a little bit softer, but for any production, you're going to have little issues here or there. Not even an issue, but more just something that someone like me who's worked with radio and audio for 12 years kind of just notices, but usually ends up fixing itself. So it was an awesome event, and it was Mad City Games, right?
Technically, the company's called Mad City GG, or just Mad City, or coolest company you've ever heard of before. Those things like that. That's usually what we go under by.
Highly recommend any of their productions or any of their tournaments if you ever get a chance to head over and see them. And that's based out of Chicago, of course, where not too far of a distance from us, but it's not like right next door. It is a little bit of a drive for you.
Which reminds me, March 9th through 11th, you guys want to be ready to go. Chicago Gaming Coalition, about $50,000 in prize pool total between Overwatch, CSGO, Smash 4, and Rocket League. So make sure to check it out. More information is on the website madcity.gg, or just Google search Nerd Street Gamers out of Chicago, and you'll be able to see that too. Okay, enough plugging. Let's talk about what history happened and how the Doc broke Twitch on his debut returning on Monday, and how Tyler 1 is just laughing it off and not really caring about it. So first, let's start out. Let's paint the picture, Dylan. Let's talk about how this stream started out originally. So first of all, it's 2:00 Eastern Standard Time, because that's when it was supposed to start. Twitch's website couldn't load properly because there was too many people that were just ready. Like, the chat was going so fast for me that it took a point that the emotes that people used were getting pushed. Like, it would just be this box until they just show up eventually, like at the top of the screen. Eventually, within the first hour, Doc set the record on Twitch for individual Twitch streamers for the most viewers at one concurrent time, which was 388,000 viewers, which,
Whew.
I'm just glad when we get 10 on the weekly stream team, so that just puts a little bit of perspective on it. Dylan, you can carry on the next part. I want to hear like what you thought about it, because you and I technically didn't really talk about what we thought about the doc's introduction together. So I'm kind of excited to see what you thought.
Yeah, we really didn't. I remember when I was first trying to constantly refresh my phone so I could
Same.
watch it, because I was like, oh, wait, I can't watch the doc stream. Like, what's up? Error? What's happening? When I finally got to see it, though, and I saw the glowing stage, the arena, if you will, just opening up, him coming out, just the big reveal. It was such a cool and long awaited it was just one of the top return of 2018 so far, bar none. A lot of his graphics, a lot of his all of his new locations, his dance skills are still as much of the docs as they
outstanding
ever were.
as ever.
It was such a, and it's why he's arguably the top, the face of Twitch, because no one else has that natural charisma or that just unmistakable presence that the doc has.
I think it's really interesting. I expected him to really kind of get the viewership, because just as a reference point, he has like 500K followers on Twitter. So I assume, and also earlier having 35,000 subscribers on Twitch itself. Then I think he's at the time he was like number 7th or 8th in terms of followers on Twitch. So like put that all together, and that to me is the reason why he was able to come back with success. But of course, with the success that he had, there was also negatives to it as well, and we'll cover the negatives in a second. But let's just kind of like roll over this still. In his day, I wrote in our notes my giggles of the day. Why did I do that?
Wow.
I'd like to just point out that sometimes I make notes super fast, and those notes should not have what they have in them. Anyway, that's the behind the scenes. So, okay, first, he comes back to the stream. He does his thing. He starts out the stream with a customized music thanks to deadmau5. Go figure. And then
another prominent Twitch streamer.
A new neon gaming, or a new neon logo design that brings him in for the introduction. He starts dancing in front of his crowd that he's put together, and everyone's cheering after him. He's like, I'm back, being the doc in this case. And in the course of the first hour, he broke the record with 388K. And the first game he has on PUBG, he pulls a 12 kill win with full level 3 armor and an AWM and an M4 fully stacked, just because he can. Like, how do you describe your first day back when the first game you pull on PUBG is a chicken dinner with like literally the best equipment you can get in the game and the best circle he could get in the game? That to me is the crazy part, if I'll be honest.
I guess you could say he definitely didn't stop his momentum taking that month or two off.
He the weird thing is that he talks about that in there. He's like, I've taken this time off from video games. So him to come back to PUBG and just pow pow pow, I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah. I don't want to upset the doc right now. Jeez. On top of that though, in this stream, he went from, in his month off, the 35K went down to 8K, and now in just one day it went from 8K to 24K by the end of the stream. 16,000 people came back and subscribed to him. Let's put this in perspective. If you make half of that, 24,000, so you're basically looking at least 60-ish K a month or something like that. Hold on. I gotta be smart. And do this. 24.
Yeah, it depends on what sort of subs they were.
If they were just straight up like he got half of them for the 4.99 sub, that would be 60,000 a month basically. So yeah. That's
So
not
a lot
including
of
his
people-
donations he got too though.
A lot of people's yearly incomes he made in basically in subs in just one stream.
That's just subs, man. Like he also included with it received like a $5,000 donation. Multiple people, including Streamlabs, put in a $1,337 donation. Then of course there was the 1K, 500, 150, 20, 5 to $1 donations that came in too. And like, goodness gracious, I think we said that. I remember being in the chat before, and we were like, yeah. That's he pretty much just made our entire salary for a year in a day. You know? That's crazy.
It's really like 5 and just individual donations. I mean, I certainly wish I had enough disposable income to just throw $5,000 at someone, but
I gotta wonder, you know, like Twitch to me has always been really weird. Like how do you justify to yourself that I should give this person, because of his content production, I should give him $5,000? I never, like, obviously the streamer's reaction is great, but is that $5,000 worth in satisfaction for that?
well, I mean, think about it from a different medium. I mean, that would be like someone back in the 80s or 90s just calling up, I don't know, say they were really enjoying the Jay Leno show. They call up Jay Leno and say, I'm going to give you $5,000 because you told that really funny joke. Like, no, that never happens. I mean, it's so incredibly unique to Twitch streamers, really, that you can get this kind of money for doing this kind of streaming that you do. It's just so unique. It's unlike any other medium we've ever seen before.
And that's just crazy to me though. I just can't piece together like a $5,000 or a $10,000 donation. Like, I think you hit that pretty spot on in the head. Like, imagine if you just called to a telephone company or to a broadcasting, not telephone.
I really like your cell phone service. Here's $5,000.
Verizon, I'm really digging you guys. Here's 5. Okay. They'll be like, sir, why are you giving us money? We already charge you enough. Just kidding. We'll take it. That's actually going to come out of your fee. We need more, though.
But of course, not everyone is so enamored with the doc like you or I or those many subscribers might be. Speaking of a few, didn't he end up calling out a particular person or a particular group during the stream?
He called out like multiple people. He called out Summit, who and basically he just called Summit and said that he was sitting in his booster seat and saying he was a small kid. And I was like, man, I'm not a big personal fan of Summit's streams, but I just kind of found that really funny. Just imagine, you know, because I mean, in perspective, you know, compare his head on stream to the rest of his body as everyone else makes that joke. It's like, I see where Doc made that joke come from, but goodness, it's really funny to just think he's just sitting in his booster seat, just be like, Doc's mean.
Do you know who Dr. Disrespect really reminds me of?
Randy Savage.
Well, yes, but more specifically, not Randy Savage. Well, he looks like Randy
Ronda
Savage.
Rousey.
I don't see that one. But
Kate Upton.
But okay, now you're talking about our representative's hot niece a little too much here, dude. They did just cool your jets. Cool your jets.
I only said it one time.
Do you remember that one episode we had a couple of years ago, or where we had to do we talked about the leaks, the iPhone leaks? Not the first time Kate Upton has been mentioned on the show.
Wait, I don't know if we ever covered way. I don't know if I even want to say it on stream. I don't know if we've ever actually covered that.
But digressing.
I'm really also scared as where we're taking this conversation, Dylan. Let's take it back on track.
Digressing. Who the way that he talks, the way that he speaks, the way that he presents himself on stream.
WWE.
Dr. Disrespect, well, even more specifically, Dr. Disrespect reminds me of The Rock in his heyday, because The Rock in his heyday became the most successful pro wrestler in the world, and now the biggest box office draw in the world, off of just being a slick-tongued, very critical, basically making fun of every opponent he ever had, but in such a creative way, or in such like an obvious way. Like, he would look at some big 400-pound wrestler and call him just call him different names, or joke about his look. That's basically what Dr. Disrespect kind of, to me, paints his or kind of reminds me of, really.
Jeez, I never really thought about that, but you got a good point.
The two-time is kind of like the, if you smell, like, it's so it's so obvious that I'm so sad that I didn't realize it until just watching a stream the other day. Like, it's such a one-to-one comparison, really.
I think that's why a lot of people like him, because he's, at the end of the day, Dr. Disrespect represents a character and not like an actual person, to respect. And so I think people get behind it because it's a cool persona to resemble. I mean, he stands for, pushing for violence, speed, and momentum, and high intensity, high octane gaming. And people probably dig that. And then, of course, he's got his also really funny sides too, where he'll finish a game and he'll start dancing, or he'll sing his Gillette song, or just like things like that. He brings into the table. And because of that, I think that's why a lot of people really dig him, is because he personifies himself as a fun character that people can get behind and just enjoy his sense of humor and just enjoy Doc being crazy. It's the internet dream. Something crazy is happening that you're not involved with.
And more importantly, he's entertaining. He's not one of these kind of chill or laid back Twitch streamers that just sit there like, oh yeah, look at me, I'm playing Fortnite. Oh, look at me, I'm playing Halo, I'm playing Call of Duty. No, he goes out there and he gives you a full performance every single stream. And it really is something that you see a lot in pro wrestling, you see a lot in sports, some of the most well-regarded or well-known sports icons, like many people might not know like key members of the Chicago Bulls, but everyone remembers Dennis Rodman. Everyone remembers Michael Jordan. Everyone remembers these larger-than-life characters, which is what Dr. Disrespect really is. He's a larger-than-life, entertaining character.
And
that's something that's very unique to Twitch.
To add one thing that I think would be, to add to your point, I think that it's interesting because he personifies himself as just being the face of Twitch and being the giant brand ambassador and being the best that there is in the game. And of course, I can see where other streamers are upset with it. This is a good little transition we can use. Obviously, not everyone's a fan of the Doc coming back, and a lot of people like Casey Tron, who has been in the conversation, not for anything else particular other than to just voice her opinion, and she's also a partnered streamer. She's upset that the Doc came back and was glorified, basically. They claim that, or she makes the argument that she was white knighted, or that he was night whited. Wow. Can I just say the sentence right? He was white knighted, and everyone just totally forgot what he did, and people are idolizing and just talking about him just because of the pure fact that he's just a funny guy, and he's just not a good person for the community, and just like the whole rant. I have her Twitter pulled up of some things that she's talked about from them before. Then of course she talks about how she's never been a sellout, and yet Doc's a sellout because he's taken a sponsorship from G Fuel, even though they just found out that they're under fire for using a substance that's potentially dangerous. Like, here's a tweet. All these people tweeting me that Dr. Disrespect broke Tyler's view account. He hasn't. Tyler 1 had over 400,000. Stop tagging me, nerds. So I found out on PC Gamer, if this is correct, that a source from inside Twitch basically verified that the highest view count that Tyler 1 ever got was 383. So that's why Doc was able to win at 388,000. That's at least what we've been told on that.
And of course, these stats are all very. We don't have a clear view because Twitch isn't exactly the. It's not empirical and it's not really completely open with all of its stats, at least from the surface of just, individual people. Like, I can't look and see absolutely every stat of your Twitch account. You can't do that for mine. We can't do that for Dr. Disrespect's. We can't do that for hers. But if I had to really give kind of my opinion on if he did or if he didn't, certainly with that first day he had, it would not surprise me if he did beat the record. And if he didn't beat the record, he was probably close to it. I mean, no matter what, he had a very successful time. And for Casey Tron's kind of, you're glorifying him, you're white knighting him for what he did, and she's trying to do the whole, oh, look at me, I'm a bleeding heart sort of thing. When you're in broadcasting or when you're in any business, you're there to produce great content for your fans, for your viewers, but if you're making money off of it, you're trying to make money. So I don't see anything wrong with him partnering with, any he's free to partner with whoever he wants. And if he makes money from it, and it's not like he's actually actively involved in the production of a product like that is sponsoring him. No, it would be like if trying to think of a good example. I can't even think of a comparable example. It would just be like if like a nuclear waste facility sponsored us and then they ended up blowing up. Would we have been the cause for an accident they had? Would we? I mean, no. That's just a stupid link to make. I don't hold the doctor responsible for any possible or potential things that G Fuel is or is not doing, because he's just being sponsored by them. He's not actively included in the production of anything they do, and he's not like he's like an executive that gets to make big decisions for him. So I really don't see what base her claim here really has, personally.
I think we'll save this for another episode to talk about what the difference between a sellout and a brand ambassador / sponsor is, because I always get this thing where people complain when people on YouTube or Twitch get sponsored by someone and then they immediately transition them to be a sellout. I hate that, because sometimes people only choose select ones, sometimes people choose several at a time, and some people just go all out, and there's a difference between that. But that's not even the main concern that she has with it. I'd love to continue to find where it's at, but I'm having oh wait, I think I know where I need to go here. There's a okay. Yeah, here we go. Basically, he has his return video that got 2.62 million views on Twitter, FYI, announcing that he's coming back. Kind of crazy, but not the point. Someone responds back and goes, "Heck yeah, Doc. I don't miss don't mind Miss Casey Tron's mindless bursts of abnormal sputum. She hasn't been relevant since, well, ever." And she responds to that and goes, "White knighting a cheater. He won't get 400K viewers on his return," which she was right, but he still broke the record. XD. Let's see. And then someone just basically goes, "Why are you so salty about it?" She goes, "I'm not salty. You guys are the ones that are upset because Tyler 1 had a bigger return than Doc is going to have." And to me, I always find that funny, because I looked at Tyler 1's stream right now compared to Doc's, and Doc was currently at 70K viewers where Tyler 1 was at 15. It's League of Legends versus League of Legends
PUBG.
versus PUBG. You know, like PUBG's the popularity right now. League of Legends has been on Twitch's platform for so many years. I see why, you know, people get their thousands of viewers at the time, but I also see why he didn't get as many viewers as before. I think in reality, they just realized that Tyler One, the kid that uses a Logitech G403 microphone, that anytime that he yells, I have to legitimately take off my headphones and just stop listening for 5 minutes just to let my freaking ear sight, really? Let my ears just balance back. It's a little crazy, but you know. Anyway, back to my point though. It's just, I don't know. I think it's a person that they are trying to express a view that they have, but they're putting it in a way that it's just constructed out to be like, this person's bad, this person's good. That's all you need to know about. Screw you guys if you don't have my opinion.
Yeah, and that's a major issue with just people and how their opinions can kind of form. Like, you should never take that as opinions are the lowest form of knowledge. It takes, you know, very little research or knowledge to actually form one, and you can portray it as fact. And I hate when people do that, because her saying all of this, like, you know, anyone saying anything about this, including the, you know, oh, he sucks because G Fuel is his sponsors, or stuff like that. That's just a lot of extrapolation from her perspective, and it shouldn't really be taken as full-on fact, as just an opinion.
I'd like to just point out, I know what she meant, so I don't want to try to detract from it too much, but just to add on to the point. But there is a reply on a tweet that I'm looking at that she says, I don't know what would lead you to think that I'm a bald person and an attention. I can't probably say that word on stream. Seems like you have an issue with women. That lead powder your idol Doc has been selling to you must be rotting out your brain. Talking about the G Fuel endorsement. But that I'm a bald person.
Wow.
I know she meant bad person, but I find that kind of funny. It sucks when you're like in an argument and you misspell something and then it just sounds stupid. Like sometimes when you accidentally have I and it turns into you, and you're like, you seem to be upset, but you meant the other way. Whatever.
My giggles for the day.
Thanks, man. I'm gonna make that a segment in here. You just wait. My giggles welcome to today's giggles of the day. But my goodness, wow. I would love to know more about this story, and this might be another topic on our show, because she talks in other tweets about camera girls, and you know how some females dress quote unquote sexy on stream, and you know why that's not as bad as we might be able to advertise it, and just saying that some people are ignorant. Sometimes she just kind of gets into internet fights. She just kind of fuels the fire for some people, it seems like. Let's see. And then there's just some people that actually, you know, be nice. But
Jordan, you're setting me up for a perfect transition into another topic. Can I take it? Can I go for it?
I suppose.
Well, and of course, the cam girl issue is, you know, with how girls can dress on stream can be an issue. One girl that will not be dressing provocatively on stream, actually, she'll be wearing a full jersey, is Kim Ginguri Sion, who has just been announced to be the first female competitor in the Overwatch League. Boom, what a transition.
Congratulations. That's like the best transition I think you've ever done before.
Thank you. But more on the story. So the Shanghai Dragons have just picked up 4 new players, one of them being a pro off-tank / main tank, and Kim Giguri, who will be the first ever female player in the Overwatch League. And this definitely, I think, can be a good thing, not only PR-wise for the Overwatch League and for the Shanghai Dragons, but also just seeing how talented some of these players are in some other scrims I've looked up. She is an amazing Zarya player. And with the Mercy meta kind of on its way out and the rise of Zarya kind of, you know, maybe they're on the horizon, I think she will definitely be a major playmaker for the Shanghai Dragons in the next the second stage that we have coming up here soon.
Me looking here at our ESPN article that I have here. The description: Shanghai has had a disastrous debut in the inaugural Overwatch League season, currently sitting last in its standings without a match victory thus far, accumulating a 4-33 map record. Oh my. Oh wow.
That,
Wow.
man,
That was like my rank system when I was in silver.
That makes the fuel and the mayhem look like Seoul and New York XL by comparison.
They have to face Los Angeles Gladiators and Seoul Dynasty to see if they can actually pull a win out. I'm now really sad for them.
Although one of the maps that they did win of those 4 was against Seoul. So they're not a bad team. They're just not clicking as well as they could. And these 4 new players, including Kim, definitely should be able to kind of help them round out their compositions a little bit better.
I'd be really excited to see what she does. I'm always a fan, and we know this. Esports is a fairly heavily dominated male sport, and I think that if we're able to incorporate women into the sport, I strongly encourage it, not just as hosts and analysts cohorts, but just to add into it, to be able to do what they do. So, I would love to see her do successful, and I hope that Shanghai doesn't suck so that she's kind of taken out of the equation. We'll see.
Yeah, I do really hope they do better. And while we got a little bit of time left here, let's talk about the stage finals for stage 1. So, are you familiar with how the Overwatch League handles its season?
Yeah, it tells me when I stop sucking, and then it decides to change the season.
I meant in the
no,
Overwatch
we're talking
League.
about Overwatch League, not the actual
Yes.
competitive season. Makes sense to me. So stage ends. I don't know what happens at the stage end though. I don't know unless it's like a brief week that they don't do anything.
Well, here's how it works. So the stage 1 ends February 10th. That will be the top 3 teams in the league will battle it out for the title of stage 1 champion. And the winning team will get $125,000 in prize money. This final game in stage 1 will not, this final series for that title will not affect the the playoffs at the very end of the season, but we'll definitely, give them some bragging rights, and all the games that they're in this stage will still, contribute to how they are in the playoffs. The top 3 teams, the 3 teams with the best records and the best map picks, will proceed to the finals of the stage 1, where the number 1 team will get a bye, and the 2 and 3 team will do a best of 5. The winner of that will fight the number 1 seed, and that's how they'll decide who gets the initial championship title and the $125,000. And yeah, and every single team except Shanghai has a shot at getting into those top 3. Dallas and the Florida Mayhem sadly have a 1,000th% chance to get in there. They still have a chance, but it would be them going to best of 5 in every game they have left and winning all of the tiebreakers. So it would be a very long, it's a long shot, but they still have it. The Gladiators and the Shock also have an opportunity at 1% chance each, but they have to have a very similar turnout. And with some of the teams that they have to fight in these next 2 weeks, or in this last week, it's not going to be very easy for them, I would say.
Well, let me tell you, Dylan. I'm just going to use this soundbite to use the opportunity, since we're recording this a little bit earlier than Thursday, to just go ahead and say, man, the Dallas Fuel played so well against the Shanghai Dragons on February 7th. And I will say that was a very easy victory, and they are currently 0-9.
Now, if the Dragons...
I'm just going to say this right now. I want to say this right now. If that's wrong and we lose to Shanghai tomorrow, I'm seriously changing my team support. I don't care who I'm going to, but it is not going to be with Dallas Fuel if they lose to Shanghai. I'll
Well, I'll
ask.
tell you
I
what.
will contact Overwatch support and just A, tell them to fix my audio voice comms, and B, I will tell them, please refund all of my Dallas Fuel skins. I would like to use them for another team. Thank you.
I mean, don't get me wrong. There's a few teams that you could definitely switch to that would probably make you a little bit happier. Of course, there are a few dark horses that still might be able to. Boston, the Boston Uprising, actually really have a decent shot here. They've only got a 9% chance of making it to the Stage 1 finals. But with how they play and the kind of easier schedule that they have, and it's the fact that they've already taken a match series off of one of the top three teams, of course, being the London Spitfire, there's a lot of room for them to go up here. However, if there's any team or teams that have a great chance of breaking into the top three, it would definitely be the Philadelphia Fusion, the Houston Outlaws, or the Los Angeles Valiant, because all three of those teams have a 30% chance or above to break into the finals for the Stage 1 championship match.
I'll just say that right now, if I have to use it, I now am a Boston Uprising fan. So just letting you guys know ahead of time, mainly because I don't have. Wait. I'm thinking of the wrong team. I'll think about that for next week. We'll find out what happens, and I'll get back to you guys.
I was going to say, were you going to go with the team that has the greatest Genji, the greatest pro Genji
Is that
in the
a
Overwatch
pro
League?
Genji?
Well, I think that would go to the Philadelphia. And I remember watching Philadelphia versus Fuel with you, and you were making a huge point about the tremendous ability of their Genji, of their hit scan in general.
In general, their DPS is unstoppable. Like, that was Dallas's problem. They couldn't stop a DPS, so they just got picked no matter what hero they went with. And that was the funny thing that I saw. And that's why I was like, man, they're freaking crazy. Maybe I'll become them. Maybe I'll become a Philly fan, or I'm definitely not becoming a Florida fan because you are in the same boat as I am. We're the team 1-7s. We're the not as worse as Shanghai Dragons status right now, and that's the scary part, is that we're basically saying not as bad as 0-8, but we're 1-7.
Yeah, it's not.
Dylan, we made bad choices. We made horrible choices. I'm really disappointed in ourselves.
Yeah, but hopefully in this little transitional period between Stage 1 and 2, we can pick up some new players. Actually, Fuel already have picked up a new player. AKM will be joining their lineup, and hopefully he'll be able to turn things around for them.
Yeah, they just need to beat Shanghai so that I don't feel like we definitely just gave them their one win and now we're tied with the worst team because we gave them that win. Like, I don't want to have that on my conscience. It's like being a Detroit Lions fan, you know?
It's like being a Chicago Cubs fan pre-World Series win.
It's like being a Chicago Cubs fan like in the early 2000s.
It's like being a Chicago Cubs fan for the 100 years before these last two.
It's like being a Chicago Bears fan right now. Okay, enough other sports referencing. We don't talk about physical sports.
Enough depressing ourselves.
Enough. We're making ourselves just super sad from it. I want to go back for a second on one more thing, and that was a comparison note. So between Dr. Disrespect and Tyler 1, both channels are at an outstanding viewer and follower count, and they've shown to be very respectable in each other in the Twitch environment. But it is interesting to note that the amount of viewers that Doc has gotten has actually been immensely higher than Tyler 1's, which is kind of impressive to say the least. If you look at graphs between total views and total followers, before Doc left, he was actually taking over in both categories with LOL Tyler. And then as of course he took his break, right now he's at a lower count. And apparently, according to this prediction, it's shown that Dr. Disrespect will be getting less followers than Tyler 1. So competitive streaming environment right now. I think it'll be cool to see what happens out of there. Do you have any predictions with the Doc coming back, if he's probably going to take over?
You know, got it on a long shot. I say not even a long shot. Going off of what we've seen, absolutely. I think he's going to, if he continues doing what he's been doing before his break and as his return, no doubt in my mind. Absolutely not a single shred of doubt in my mind.
Well, I think we are just about set here. And other things to highlight, if you guys want some fun stuff to look at, the Happy Year of the Dog video is available now from Overwatch if you'd like to watch that. Of course, Overwatch League coming up this weekend and a few other fun stuff as well. Of course, the Doc is back, so you can check him out on his streams and have a good time with that. Outside of that, I think we're pretty much getting closer to a wrap up here. Dylan, is there anything you'd like to add into it before I start giving our plugs and our fun things?
Just a plug that might get overlooked. Join us on Saturday for join Sfernaday for some Overwatch, potentially, more likely, Mega Man. But just join us for stream Saturday on Twitch/Level Up Weekly.
Yeah, and of course this weekend's got LCS, HCC, CS Summit 2, Overwatch League is going on, IEM, Call of Duty World League. I mean, the whole thing's just going crazy this weekend. But anyway, that's going to be it for here. Follow us on Twitter at Level Up Weekly. Give us your thoughts on what happened this week and what you're thinking about the Doc's return. We'd love to hear more information about that from you guys for sure. Outside of that, make sure to support us over on Patreon, patreon.com/Level Up Weekly, and make sure to see us on Podbean, on iTunes, and of course now showing the same episodes on Twitch now, which of course you may be seeing it here. If so, hello. Outside of that, guys, it has been a pleasure as always to be here for another beautiful Thursday night, or whenever you're watching this now and wherever you're watching it. I'm for today, and I am out of here alongside with Dylan the Dude. And join us next week for your next level experience.